Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're working on a little Echo SRM 225 weed eater, and it just won't start. Now I took a look at it, and surprisingly enough, this time it's not the carburetor. It doesn't have any spark. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you how I determined that it didn't have spark and the steps we took and what we're going to do next to get this thing running. And all you new people out there, go ahead and subscribe. It's free, and we appreciate it. Let's get started. Let's turn on some lights. There we go. Showtime. There you go. Okay. When I tried to pull this, we went ahead and we turned it on. We verified that it's in the on position. And we pulled it. Lots of compression, but nothing. So the next thing we did was attach this in line. And you can buy these for like $8 or $9 on Amazon. And if you work on engines, or even if you've got your own engine at home, really handy to have. It'll save you a whole lot of aggravation. Now, interesting enough, if you've got a non-resistor plug in a resistor engine, in an engine that requires a resistor plug, and you put this in line, all of a sudden it'll start. You take this out of line, then it won't start again, because it gives just the tiniest little bit of resistance. And now what we're going to do when we pull the cord is watch for a spark. And so you see we saw nothing. So the next thing I did was replace the plug, because if the plug's no good, then if the plug's really bad, you wouldn't get a spark here. So next up is take the lid off, which comes off real easy on this one. This one's just easy peasy. And once we've got the lid off, we're going to attach this again. Right here. Are you on? Yeah, you're on. We're going to attach it again. But now over here, on the coil, we're going to pull this. This is the kill wire. So if there's any problems in the circuit to the switch, then it'll have a spark. What that wire does is this grounds the engine to the coil when the switch is in the off position. And then so the spark gets a better place to go. Still no spark. So we're going to go ahead and replace the coil on this one, because we verified that the plug's okay. And we also verified our gauge is okay on another machine. So let's switch sides and replace the coil. Now I'm going to be kind of in the way on this one. So we're going to set up the other camera. Now we've got a camera on each side so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to break loose the other coil. And you'll see there's nothing holding that coil on but these 2 bolts. And now we're going to save this from this coil and put it on the other one. Now what we need to do is turn the cylinder until the magnet is facing up to the coil. So we're going to go ahead and take the spark plug out, just because it makes it a whole lot easier to do. And now we'll roll the motor over, and there she is. Now if you did that with the plug in, it would have been really hard. And we'll lay our coil in place as the other one was laying. And you see the magnets here will grab onto the coil and try to hold it still. And that's exactly what you want to have happen. So we'll get it out of our way. And the magnet holds it pretty good. We're going to take a plain old piece of notebook paper and fold it in half twice. And this is printer paper, I guess you should say. And that's our spacer. Going to tear it in a piece that will cover both of the magnets, which is a pretty small piece. This is what we're covering here. And we're going to lay it back on. And remember, the bigger the piece of paper is, the more paper you've got to get out of the way later. So we'll make this one about this big. We'll line up our magnet and we'll lay it in place. Now we'll drop our coil back on. You see that coil doesn't want to let go. She's pretty firmly attached to those magnets, so it's pulling it down and it's guaranteeing our spacing. So with that there, we'll put our bolts back in. Not very big bolts, but they're big enough to do the job. Double check to make sure, and we're good. Oh, that was ambitious, wasn't it? And now make sure these are nice and tight. You don't get the leverage on a weed eater you get on a lawnmower when you reach the end of the bolts on the coil. Okay, those aren't going anywhere. So now for the entertaining part is we try to get the piece of paper to come out here. And we're going to do that by turning the machine. And there it is. So theoretically, we have a good coil. And the way we'll test that is put the spark plug back in. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Sorry, buddy. Are you on? Yeah, you're on. We're going to put the coil back in. Put the plug back in. And now we'll put a spark tester on it. Notice we're still not plugged in all the way. There's that. And there's that. Now let's see if we've got a spark now. And we do. And that tells us that we've solved the problem. Now we know our carburetor is okay, or we're 99% sure. So I'm expecting good things here. We could put our cover on, but it seems like if you put the cover on first, something always goes wrong. So if you know your carburetor's in good shape and you're not getting any spark, first thing you do to test it is pull the wire off of the coil. And then if you pull it and still don't get any spark, then your coil's probably shot. After you replace it, the number of layers of paper you put in are important. If you put say you put 8 layers in this one, then it's not going to run right. The timing will be too far off. What it'll do is it'll retard the timing just a little bit. If you don't put enough paper in, it'll advance the timing too much. So you might rev really quick, but it's going to die off. You're not going to have any top end at all. Because unlike a car, the timing doesn't adjust as you go on a weed eater. In a car, when you advance the timing, the advance changes as you rev the engine up. On a weed eater, it stays the same. Okay, well, thanks for watching. And if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. You made it this far, you might as well. And we'll see you next time.